Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for your core workout today. I need you to go grab your glider discs. If you don't have discs, don't worry. You can use paper plates if you're on carpet or just your socks if you're on a hardwood or ceramic floor. So go grab what you need and meet me back here to do a little bit of core training. So I want to start our warm up today by establishing a nice strong posture. So we're going to take our shoulders and we're going to let them droop. And then I want you to pick them up towards your ears, pull them back behind you and drop them down. Do that again. Forward, up, and then open them back behind you. Good. From here, make it a little bigger. Reach behind and reset back down. Think about really opening up through the chest and allowing your arms to have a nice big range of motion. Good. Last one here. Now I want you to think about squeezing through the core to pull your arm across and reset. Now squeeze going the other way and come back. Do this a couple more times. Squeeze to pull, that twisting movement. Last one here. Good. Reset right there. Good. From this nice tall position, I want you to roll down towards the floor. Take your time and use each of your vertebrae as a bit of a release as you're going down. So you're kind of taking your time to get to the floor. Once you're there, I want you to go in reverse. This time you are straightening up or engaging all the muscles around your spine, and one vertebrae at a time, you're coming up to standing in that nice tall posture. Good. Do that again. Bringing it down, releasing everything on the way down. And once you get there, using all of your core strength to pull up, engaging all through the spine, and come up to that nice, tall, standing position. Very good. I need you to come down to the floor. Now I'm using a little bit of mat for comfort. You don't have to, but we're going to bring ourselves into a tabletop. So that means my hands are directly under my shoulders and my knees are directly under my hips. From here, I want you to extend one foot behind, not opening those hips. Keep it square. Reset back. Extend the other one. Bring it back. What I'm focusing on for this is that everything stays square. So I'm not offsetting the movement by leaning into that leg that's on the ground. I'm staying really strong to keep it square to the floor. Good. Let's reach a hand forward. So same thing, but we're squeezing our lower abs to keep our hips from tilting. Very good. Last one here. Bring it back into a nice child's pose. Open up those hips and let everything go right here. And then coming back to that tabletop. I want you to lift one hand to the side and then go to the other side. Remember, we're engaging everything through that core. Let's do one more of those because it's time for us to get into the bulk of this workout. I need you to grab your gliders and I need them to be under your feet. Put your hands down on the floor because we're starting today's core workout with a mountain climber. So I need you to find your plank, feet planted. Here we go. We've got 40-second intervals. As we do this mountain climber, I want you to make sure that you're not piking your hips to the ceiling and just sliding your feet around. We're strong in that plank position. And we're driving those feet back and forward. And notice I'm not resting into my leg. I want you to think constant movement. Always moving those legs. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set those knees down. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is going to be similar to something we did in our warm-up. We're going to put our hands on our glider discs. We're going to be sliding one hand forward and then the other. But the catch is we're in a floating tabletop. Bring those knees off the ground. Stretch one hand forward, bring it back. Other hand forward, bring it back. Now look, it's not a huge movement. I want you to think that you're floating above the ground and you're just keeping your core from tilting. Just a reach and a reset. Don't let it get up here. Kneecaps are pointing to the ground. And realistically, we want those kneecaps to stay as close to the ground as we can. Good, take a rest from that. Good news, we're gonna sit for the next one. So I want you to bring yourself into a nice, tall postured V-sit. Where it gets fun is we're gonna put our heels on our discs. I want you to raise your hands and I want you to give me a run. Lower abs are engaged and we run. Right here, keep those feet moving. I want you to think some pressure going into those discs to give some friction to make you really engage those lower abs. Now take a look. I'm only leaning back as far as I can without caving. So I want you to sit tall, lean back, and keep it in that range of motion where your spine stays long. I can go back further, but it kind of looks like this, and that defeats the purpose. So find that strong range of motion and stay there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a little rest from that. All right, the next one is one of my favorites, but it is not easy. I need you to take a look. I'm on my knees. I am doing a tricep push-up and I'm squeezing my core to come back up. Try it with me. Extend a hand, bend the other arm, and then squeeze to push through the floor and drag that hand back towards your body. One arm is working really hard to push, the other is working hard to pull, and your core is keeping everything stable. Try to exhale on the push, right here, and keep going through this. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake that all out. We're gonna do it again from the top. So we're going back to our mountain climber. Take your discs. We gotta put them under those feet again. And we're gonna try to keep that constant movement of our feet. So we're never going to sort of stop and lock into a position. We're gonna go right here. Now my hips are low. I'm not letting them tent up to the ceiling. Stay down here. And you know what? Slow down. You do not have to go fast for this one. I want you to really think range of motion and form. No sprinting in this particular one. Stay strong, legs constantly moving. Hang in there. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Tabletop is next. So we're gonna take our discs, we're gonna put them on our hands. Now remember, this is the floating tabletop, so our kneecaps are just off the ground. And it's hard to keep them there, so we need to really squeeze those lower abdominals. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees, little reach, pull back, little reach, pull back. Now I know we feel this in your legs, but every time you pull your arm back, I want you to squeeze your lower abs a little bit extra to assist in that pullback and keeping yourself in that strong tabletop. Check your hips. Are they up here? Take your kneecaps, face them to the ground, and keep working through. Extend a little further if you can and see what that does for your lower abdominals. Don't let your hips go with it. Take a rest. Okay. Back to my favorite one. I have a few favorites, but we're back to this one where we go for a sprint. Now remember, we're only leaning back as far as we can with maintaining our posture. So here we go. I want you to put some pressure into those discs I want you to engage the lower abs and push through your heels as if you're driving your feet through mud. There's a suction cup on the bottom of these discs and you're having to work to get through it. Add that upper body twist if you want to. Keep it strong. Sit tall. Don't let it round out. Stay strong. Hang in there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab those discs. Now it's time for my favorite, tricep hand extension. From the knees, hands are on your discs. Everything is working to make this happen. One arm bends, one arm extends. Here we go. Lowering it down right here. Exhale. And I want you to put some pressure into that extended hand to pull back to your body. Right here. Drag that disc back. Squeeze and drag. Make sure you exhale as you push up and drag it up. Nice work. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake that out. We're gonna get a little extra rest here because we're gonna move on to some new exercises. So take this time right here to reset through the shoulders, reset through the arms, and if you need to, release your core right here. Let it go. Give it a rest. And then we're gonna sit nice and tall again because we've got 4 new exercises that we're going to work on. We've got some more planks to do, which means we need to make sure that we keep our frame super strong. Our first plank, we're gonna be moving our feet wide to narrow. Let me show you. I'm gonna have my feet on my discs. I'm gonna be in tall plank or low, and we're right here, so join me. If you're in that low plank, I need you to be anchored in. Try not to bring your hands in. Keep everything anchored into the ground. If you want an alternative, you can do one leg at a time. But again, I'm not counterbalancing with my hips. The only thing moving is my leg, my shoulders, my core, my hips. I'm trying to keep them as quiet as possible. Good. Okay, we're gonna lay on our belly for the next one. We're gonna do a back extension. It's a bit of a twist. We're gonna get our lats involved by laying on our stomach, extending those hands, and you're going to pull in and lift as high as you can. My lats are engaged. You ready to join me? Right here. Pull those discs in towards your ribs and back out above your head. Right here, squeeze those elbows in towards your ribs and lower back down. I am also working really hard to lift my legs and squeeze glutes at the same time. So my entire posterior chain is waking up, lighting up, and working to squeeze and reset. Make sure you're breathing, elbows come into those ribs. Good, take a rest from that. Okay, we're going back to a plank. This time, we're gonna do a double knee pull in and a pike. So get those plates to come in and then your hips to come up. Join me. Knees in, hips up. This is really concentrated on those lower abdominals. To pull those hips to the ceiling, you need to engage right here and lift as you drag in. Keep breathing and do what you can. Good, 10 seconds left. Stay strong. 3, 2, 1. Whew, shake that one out. Okay, good news, we get to sit again. This time, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna put our discs under our feet. Then we're gonna lay it down. Take a look. Glutes are engaged, and I'm switching my feet. Join me. Now, this is backside of the leg and glutes working. So if you need something a little less intense, because this can really work on those hamstrings, you can do this one at a time. If you've got a little bit more in you, constant movement. You choose. What I don't want to see is you releasing your glutes and making the back side of the leg do all the work. Keep it lifted. Whichever one you're working on, squeeze from here. Lift a little higher. And rest. Let's do all of those again. Back to our plank, wide to narrow legs, one at a time, or both. But get ready, we're going into that plank. Tall plank or low plank. Here we go. Remember that from our shoulders and our elbows all the way down to our hips is really quiet. We don't want them to move. We also don't want a dip to happen in the back. Keep everything engaged. Stay strong. Go one at a time. We're almost there, under 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oh boy. Back to our back extension. So this is the one where we're gonna lay down and we are going to put force into our discs as we pull down towards our ribs. Engage through the glutes and lift. Here we go. Squeeze and reset back down. Put force through those discs and squeeze those elbows towards the ribs. Right here, I need you to push into the ground, create friction, and then reset. Good, keep breathing. Lift the legs if you want that little bit extra, and reset. This is another one. We'll go as slow as you can. We don't need to speed through this one. We want to keep it really controlled. Good. Rest. Pull-ins and pike. So back under those toes. We're gonna bring both feet in, and then we're gonna pike our hips to the ceiling. So once again, find that plank position. Here we go. Double pull in and going to that plank. Each time you do this, I need you to pull everything in towards your spine and really brace all the way around so that everything can help lift those hips. It's got to be a team effort with all of this core work. Right here, squeeze. Keep breathing. We're almost there. Rest. Okay. Have that seat again. Backside. This is our glutes, backside of our leg. These are the little pulls. One at a time if you need that little bit of extra help, because this one can be pretty isolated on the backside. Lift and get ready. I need you to switch your feet unless you're doing one at a time. In which case, it's really easy to let your hips start to drop. Lift, squeeze, then move. Everything is the back side of the body right now. We're working really hard to stay lifted. Make sure you're breathing. Take it down a notch if you need to, but get those hips higher. Keep it strong. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake that out. I've got good news. The bulk of the work is done. We've got one little finisher to get us through to the end. You only need one disc. We're gonna do one side, and then we're gonna do the other. So take 30 seconds to reset and take a look up here. We're gonna be in a side plank. So you can rest either from your elbow or tall plank, whichever you prefer. You're going to have your disc under your top leg. Your bottom leg is going to be keeping you in that plank, and we are going to pull knee to elbow. You ready? Let's do this. Pull knee to elbow, right back down. Now take a look. If you need to go from that knee, you're gonna put it right here, but you are still squeezing right here to get that elbow and knee to come nice and close together. Keep it lifted. Don't let your body sag down. Stay strong. Put this hand down if you need a bit of a break. But keep going. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to the other side. And that's it. This is your finisher. So we're gonna switch. We're going to have that bottom leg ready to support, that top leg ready to drag. So find that plank, knee or toe. You're here or you're here. Choose whichever one works for you. But I want you to think lifted and squeezing to get elbow and knee together. Same thing applies if the hand is on the ground. That elbow and knee are still coming together. Keep it lifted. Do what you can, because we're almost done. 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake that out. Well done. That's your core work done and dusted. But I want to take a second right here, and I want you to bring yourself into a child's pose. So I want you to walk your fingers forward, bring your knees a little wider, and join me down here in this child's pose, because that extra beep means you are done the hard part. From this child's pose, I want you to walk both your fingers in one direction. Feel a little stretch through the side. Good. Walk your fingers the other direction. A little stretch through the other side. And come back to center. This time, come up onto all fours. I want you to take one hand, scoop it through, and bring your shoulder down towards the ground. Try to look up at the ceiling and allow that little spinal twist to happen. Push through this palm of your hand and lift to switch to the other side. Drop that hand down. Look up towards the ceiling. Push through that palm to come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Walk your hands towards your feet and start to roll up. Take your time coming to standing. And once you get here, find that nice tall posture. Open up those hands behind you. Release that forward, and you are done. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that I'm going to see you again really soon.